Hello and welcome to the preview show for Peterborough at home. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And it's a beautiful, lovely day. We're full of smiles. Well, we've just about managed to claw some back after the debacle at Deepdale, mate.
Yeah. Like I say, it's nice. I do like it when you have a game quickly after to kind of try and let's forget about that. Let's move on to the next one. But yeah, not a great one, mate. Not one of the away days that will live fond in the memory, but yeah, it's probably been coming. I think the last few games to manage to get 6 points out of the 3. I thought we were pretty lucky to do that, to be honest. So yeah, we probably were rightly punished this weekend.
Absolutely. So where are we? I'm sure you can guess. We are at, Tom,
the Parrot Parley.
Yeah, we're sat in a different part of the garden today, but absolutely beautiful, as you can see here. What a gorgeous day. And like I say, if you want a drink or some food, there's no better place in Dorset. Come and visit. It's on Christchurch Road in West Parley. Do check it out. During this video, you might hear bird song, you might hear aeroplanes, but that's what our preview shows are all about.
Exactly, mate. I think it's iconic, isn't it? A plane going over, everyone's waiting for it. So yeah, I'm sure one will at some point. Got to go to Alicante or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, there'll be a few over. But yeah, lovely place to do the preview, mate. And as you say, lovely place to have a pint. And yeah, we're sitting all over here because that's how big the garden is. Yeah, massive, the acres of it. Yeah, lovely.
I'm not sure I could throw a tennis ball to the place where we usually sit over the other side. That's how big the beer garden is.
Yeah, no, I know what you
might
mean.
be able to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends how the week goes.
Depends how much you've been working out that week.
Right, shall we see what's coming up on today's show? So we've got an autopsy after Saturday's 2-1 defeat to Preston North End. Just whereabouts did it go wrong? Myself and Tom chew the fat over that horrible loss in Lancashire. We also go over Parker's presser. It doesn't look like there will be one, but we've got a load of reaction from the game, plus some team news ahead of what is a must-win match against the Posh. We've got some opposition info where we'll preview the team that we're going to be up against at Dean Court, plus of course the usual pubs and predictions. We've got the link to our away fans guide that some Posh fans might find very useful, plus myself and Tom will predict the result as well. And also we'll go through our predicted team, as there are going to be some changes, maybe some through rotation, but also some forced changes as well. Can't wait for that.
Can we just mention that the last time we done the predicted team, 11 out of 11?
Yeah.
11 out of 11.
That was very good.
Not that it was good, because it didn't work out in a result, but no. Yeah. So yeah, I've got high expectations now. I've set that bar, mate.
You've probably seen on Twitter that we've posted our content schedule, and oh my god, it's going to be busy for this month. It's going to be really busy for next month. There's a video nearly every day. So if you haven't done it already, there's something that you can do.
Click the subscribe, first of all, because that's the best way of thanking us, isn't it? Click that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Hit the like, get out to more people, and they can view all the content. And yeah, just hit the bell one as well, because like we say, there's going to be a lot of content, so you don't have to keep checking. Hit the bell, YouTube will let you know.
Absolutely. So then, on Saturday, Preston became the first team this season to complete the double over the Cherries and end that run of 4 straight league wins. It was also a game that saw 2 red cards shown to AFCB personnel. Firstly, Scott Parker, and the second for Adam Smith, who'd been substituted, all stemming seemingly from a foul on Philip Billing in the build-up to Preston's second and winning goal. That defeat meant that AFC Bournemouth do not leapfrog back up into second place. Here's the league table at the moment, and Tom, look, we're still in a very strong position. We've got 4 games in hand over Huddersfield and only a point behind. Games in hand over Blackburn as well, QPR, etc. We're still in a strong position, and that's why when there are all these debates going on Twitter, we can maybe be shut up somewhat with our moaning by the fact that actually, look at the stats, we're doing all right.
Of course, yeah. It like as you say, on paper, it looks really healthy. We've got so many games in hand. It would take a catastrophic kind of run in form and results to drop out, and not get automatic promotion. Yeah, so it's weird knowing that and thinking we're third, but that's the way it is with the games in hand. We've got 3 really nice games on paper. You would cherry pick them really. Obviously Peterborough that we're discussing here, followed by Derby and Reading, all at home. So yeah, we should be fine, and 1 defeat doesn't change that. It was a disappointing one, but yeah, as you say, people can always, you know, kind of come back at you and go, oh, blimey, you're probably going to go up, boys. And that's what makes it difficult when you're witnessing things on the pitch and thinking, I don't enjoy this, and then you go, yeah, but we are doing the job. So difficult one, but it sparks good debate, I think.
If you're not on Twitter, you can follow Tom at TomJordan21, ding, and also me, Sam Davis UK. And I rarely put my opinion on Twitter because I sort of save it for the videos as much as I can. But I did write a thread on Twitter, so I'm going to read parts of it out to you now because this just explains how I feel. And there was an article from Jacob Tanswell on Dorset Live, Cherries Live, talking about Scott Parker and his need to pick the perfect moment to score goals and control the game and all these kind of cliches that we've been hearing throughout. And my fear was, well, I mean, this is what Parker said: we need more overlaps, more patience, and work the perfect moments. Let's work those moments to score goals, he said. And I put on Twitter that if this is his philosophy, he might be less prepared for the Premier League than he was for Fulham, because you get so few chances in the top flight, and I don't think you can be doing that.
No, I know what you mean, and equally at the other end as well, teams are going to take more of their chances. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'd like to think that's just for now, and he would adapt in the Premier League. But you know, obviously his experience, it depends how you look at it. His experience in the Championship is he managed to get a team out of it. His experience in the Premier League is he couldn't keep a team afloat. So it'd be interesting to see if we get there, how we adapt. But yeah, it's a little bit of a concern, I think.
You might be right in that he's just doing what he knows to do in the Championship, and he doesn't have to do anything different to what he did at Fulham, albeit they went up via the playoffs. I'm sure they would have wanted autos. I think that a lot of their fans feel like they deserved it, but at the end of the day, he had a job brief, he fulfilled it. In the Premier League, he had a job brief and he didn't keep them in the Premier League. So maybe he's just doing this the same, and then when he's in the Premier League, that's where he'll learn. But I was talking about these fine margins on my tweet, and it seems like the way he wants to play, there seem to be lots of fine margins, and we constantly seem to walk a tightrope, and it's no wonder this season why we've had so many moments where we just fall either side of the line. And I was taking a look at some of our matches. Of course, we've had 7 draws this season, but also there's 16 matches where there's only been a 1-goal margin. 6 of those have been defeats, 10 of those have been wins. But it just shows these little moments that can change.
Yep.
We haven't blown many teams away this season, and that's always, I think, where many a Bournemouth fan gets really frustrated, because we've got the personnel and the capability to be able to do that. We've got such flair players that on their day, with the shackles off, we know that we can rip teams apart. And we were saying last night in the pub, we've probably on paper got maybe a better squad than Fulham.
Potentially, I think that's up for debate, but definitely over every other team.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think that it's difficult because as we just mentioned, then Scott Parker will rightly come out and go, I'm doing the remit here. I've got to get us promoted, and I'm going to do it, so everyone can be quiet. A bit like Jason Tindall, we all thought that Jason Tindall wasn't working. It wasn't good. It wasn't good to watch. We weren't doing great. But he'll go, I never left the top 6 as a manager, and he was rightly, in my opinion, as much as I wanted him to do well, was rightly kind of, no, it isn't working, Jason. It's not good enough for the players we've got. And I've said numerous times, I feel the only difference this season is the teams around us. It means we don't have to be quite as good. I don't think there's as good opposition, really. I thought Watford, Norwich, Brentford, even Swansea last season were different class at times and made it really tough for us. But yeah, it's a really difficult one because we're getting the job done most of the time. Obviously we didn't at the weekend, but most of the time we're in a good position because of that. But I'll do a little analogy for you, right?
Go on.
It's like we've got a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a Ferrari. You look at it, it is beautiful. It's so good to look at. And you've got to get somewhere. And we're getting there. We're getting from A to B. We are getting to our destination. But we're getting there 30 seconds ahead of a Vauxhall Corsa. And you get there and you go, okay, you beat the Vauxhall Corsa, but kind of expected you to get there about 10 minutes earlier than the Vauxhall Corsa. And then you get there and you go, people go, oh, you already just got here. We go, yeah, you told us to get here at 5. Yeah, fair enough. I just kind of expected you to get here at 10 too because you've got a Ferrari. I think you know what I'm trying to say by that. We should be blowing teams away like Fulham have done so consistently this season. So it's weird. The way we're approaching games is odd in my opinion, and I'm sure we've spoke about it enough. A lot of people did on the fan cams at the weekend, but little things that are so evident is Ben Pearson for Todd Cantwell at 1-1. against a team that haven't won at home in 3 months. That says it all for me. That's a really good way of just going, that's what it's like. And you know, we're going to talk more about this Peterborough game coming up, and they're literally, no disrespect to Peterborough, they're the worst team in the league by a long way, and one of the worst teams in the Championship I've seen for a long time, actually. And I'm thinking we'll probably nick it 1-0. And that's getting the job done, and that's getting the points on the board. But it's just a little bit, it feels a little bit, I don't want to be too critical, and maybe this is a little bit harsh, but it feels like we're going to get promoted in spite of Scott Parker and his tactics, rather than because of Scott Parker. But listen, he will say his remit is to get us promoted, and you've always got to give credit if you do what the expectations were at the start of the season.
He said in his post-match interview he felt like we controlled the first half. Yeah, we did, but we didn't really do anything with it, and that's my problem. There's no clinicality, and if you're waiting for the perfect moments, it puts the onus on taking your chances and being clinical when you've got those chances. The less emphatic we are on the pitch, the less of a margin for error there is. So when the ball got caught under Jamal Lowe's feet and then they went on the attack and then Reece put it in the bottom corner, that's one of those moments that if you were 3-1 up, it probably wouldn't have mattered. But we're just not putting matches to bed when we know we should be. And what that also means is when there is this kind of tightrope that we're walking, there are players that fewer players need an off day. I thought the billing wasn't particularly good, even though Jacob Tanswell actually put him level with Cook on
I said that
on points. I'm not sure about that, Jacob, but maybe there'll be a reason for that. I didn't think that Anthony did brilliantly. I mean, he put in that cross for the goal, but he wasn't particularly. And there's a few players that were particularly great, and when those few players have off days, then it affects the whole team, and it shouldn't ever be like that. I don't think it. Look, the Championship is a competitive league, and I don't expect us to steamroller every single team, but I just want us to have those moments. And at the moment, we probably will get promoted, but the future after that really worries me.
I know what you mean, because as we alluded to there, it's the quality of the opposition goes up tenfold. Finer margins and things like that. I look at the weekend and just think, Scott coming out, I know you can't challenge him too much when you're doing an interview after the game, but coming out and saying we controlled that first half, you want to go, well, why was it 0-0? If you're controlling a game, I mean, how much control are you getting? Because it's 0-0. I mean, surely you want more than that. You're controlling the team, as I say, they haven't won at home for 3 months. I mean, controlling the team and getting a 0-0 is not enough, is it? Surely. No. And I look at, we're saying we haven't really, blown teams away this season. One of the ones I can remember, was it a higher scoreline, was 4-0 Swansea?
Yeah.
Well, that Swansea game, I don't think we controlled the game. I thought it was really open. They were good, yeah. Ethan Laird was brilliant, and you think so a game where we probably controlled one of the least in terms of it was kind of here, there, and I actually thought they were quite good, and we beat them 4-0 because we've got the quality, and we were just going for them on the break and things like that. So yeah, it is a concern. As I say, we can't. I don't want to kind of preempt what potentially could happen next season, because I don't think that's fair. I think we keep saying if we are to get promoted, right, okay, well, we're not going to judge Scott Parker on the Premier League when he hasn't got us there yet, and we haven't seen what's going to happen. But yeah, it's weird with the talent we've got, the way we're so safe, we're so conservative in our approach. I don't get it when you've got the players we've got going forward. Let them off the leash, we'll kill teams. We will absolutely murder teams with the players we've got, in my opinion. And Jamal Lowe, who we've spoken about, has got 3 and 3. And I don't think he's been that good.
No.
But every time he's got his goal is when a game's been, it's not going our way, we're not winning, and we've gone, right, Jamal, now we've got to take a bit of a risk, get closer to Dom, and then he scores. But then we start the next game with him, stay out wide, don't get too far up the pitch, stay regimented, stay disciplined, he doesn't do anything. As soon as we go, we've got no choice now, Jamal, go off the leash a bit, he goes and bags. I would, here's the play, mate.
Here we go. I don't know what that is, but that's flying at some pace.
It's a biggie, that one, isn't it?
It's just coming into land by the looks of it.
But yeah, it's that's what's weird for me, is every time kind of Jamal's a good example, is kind of let off the leash a little bit to go and try and change the game. He does, but then he starts the next game not allowed to do that. Yeah, weird.
I just find it really strange. My expectations of what I should be wanting from turning up to football's changing massively. I go to matches knowing that I probably won't enjoy it. I probably won't see much sort of artistic flair on the pitch. Yet I'll come home and I'll see there's a W in the last match column on the BBC Sport League table website or whatever. We're second. And then I think, oh well, like Bournemouth are like second in the league or whatever. Third, albeit at the moment. And I think, well, that's okay then. All my enjoyment seems to be outside of the stadium, just seeing the stats afterwards, rather than enjoying the moment when we're actually watching the game.
I know, it is very bizarre, and you kind of... That's why it feels so strange for me, and I almost feel like a bit of a fraud, really. That I want us to get promoted. That's the goal. We're flying in terms of points and games in hand, and you think it's brilliant. And how can we be moaning? And I feel really bad for moaning, but I'm just giving my opinion on what I'm seeing on the pitch, and it's not
Scott
enjoyable.
Parker's got a job brief which he is fulfilling at the moment. If we win our games in hand, and look, let's give him some credit. He's put together a team that, at the start of the season, included a number of academy players, which, by either, whether it was by a design or whatever, I don't think it was, because we had so many injuries that he was forced to play the likes of Gav Kilkenny, Zenu Ibsen-Rossi, Jordan Zamora, Jaden Anthony. Probably was going to start with Travers in goal anyway. Would have if Woodman would have come off originally, but it's worked, and he's got players playing. And they seem to be united. They seem to be together, despite the fact that fans are very irked in the crowd. He's doing some sort of good things, and I just think, oh God, maybe I'm on the come down from the Eddie Howe diet of being entertained every single weekend, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just park these feelings until the end of the season and just worry about it then.
I know, but we're here to give our opinions. That's what it's all about, isn't it, mate? So yeah, I think it's fair. I think I always kind of, as we're doing there, I do always kind of understand what people are saying when they say we are in a position that's healthy. And I think you don't want to go back to Eddie too much, but we'd be playing 4-4-2 with Lowe alongside Solanke, and we'd just be going for teams.
Yeah.
We'd be absolutely going for teams, in my opinion. He'd done that with a lot less talented squad at the time. When we were in the Championship before, but yeah, it's strange. It does make me feel a bit weird that I'm not enjoying it as much as I feel like I should be, really.
I don't want to turn this into the Eddie Howe show. He's gone. He's a unique part of the fabric of this club. But we'll always have an interest in terms of what he does, and he's taken a Newcastle team recently with some of their biggest players out, and got players that some fans think shouldn't be near the club, and he's got them playing, like Joe Linton, like Ryan Fraser's all of a sudden started playing, much to our agony seeing him score goals and assist. But he's got players like that play. It's the other way around here.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit. I actually think, because a lot of people go, oh, well, he had January. But actually, I think they had a stronger squad before he come in terms because of the injuries.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Because Bruno's come in, hasn't he, the big money signing, and not started in any game, I don't think. And the players they have brought in, Kieran Trippier is now injured.
Yeah, Callum Wilson's
out, St. Maximum's out, and they're just winning games. So yeah, that's, I'm pleased to see that. But yeah, in terms of us, you mentioned briefly there about the start of the season with Ibsen-Rossi and Kilkenny. Were we better? I think we were better with Zeno Ibsen-Rossi, with Gavin Kilkenny, and it's weird.
Kilkenny's a very honest and brave player, and that's something I feel sometimes we miss, that honesty in midfield.
And I feel like
he tries things.
He tries things. That's what I was going to say, and that's why I couldn't understand at the weekend Dembele sat on the bench and not coming on, because he will try stuff. He will try and be expressive. But as you mentioned as well, the unity is there. I can't doubt that.
It is.
Apart from at the weekend, we had 2 games before where we come back right at the death, and you're not a team that's throwing in the towel if you're doing that. So we've got to give props for that. And at the end of the day, these flair, expressive players that we've got would be showing that more if they were going against the orders. They're not, because they're doing and Scott Parker, to be fair to him, will be going, what I've been telling you to do is working, because we're going up at the moment. It's a weird one, but like I say, they are getting the job done. It surprised me that I feel like we're actually better at the start of the season, where we probably had some of our big hitters not available.
We're so entitled, aren't we? We're entitled.
It feels like I hate feeling like that. I really do. I just look at the squad, mate, and I just think, it should be. And I can't help but think this is all hypothetical, and this might not be the case. I can't help but think if Woodman's medical goes ahead, we don't see Travers this season at the start of the season. If Leif Davis was brought in a little bit earlier, we might not have seen Jordan Zamora this season. And I look at that and think, have we got away with it a little bit? Maybe. But yeah, it's weird not enjoying it at the moment. But the weekend, there's no doubt we didn't enjoy it, because it was absolutely rubbish and we lost.
Yeah. So one of the things that Scott Parker said to Zoe Rundle, to her credit, I think in that little 3-minute interview on AFCB TV, she almost spoke on behalf of the fans, saying, you know, surely this loss now puts the emphasis on 3 home games in a row. You know, we've got to produce results, and that's what she was saying. So it was nice to get those kind of, because that's what fans feel. And without us really being able to communicate directly with Scott Parker, I think it's quite nice that she sort of emphasised to Scott the importance of these next 3 home games, which are absolutely massive for us. And it seems like Scott is under no illusion that these are big games, and he said will rather than, you know, might, in terms of like turning it around and bouncing back and stuff, which is good. One of the things he said about Preston was, what we're going to be successful with is by moving them. Can we move them from one side to the other? Can we suddenly put them in uncomfortable positions? Can we make these spaces bigger and carve our chances open? I was reading that, I was thinking, are we just overthinking the game? Are we just overthinking it? Like, maybe. Perhaps the players are being burdened by this kind of mentality that Scott Parker is trying to put on them. Like, just go for it.
I can see what you're saying after the fact that we watched the performance, and you're thinking, well, the only goal we got was from just a ball in the box. It kind of fell to Jamal Lowe and he took it well. The only other big chance was a cross in the box and a header. So neither of them are moving them out of position and carving things out. It's just ball in the box. We scored from a ball in the box. Their keeper made a world-class save from a ball in the box. You know, we didn't, all this carve and open, we didn't carve a moment at all. Did Dom Solanke have a shot? We didn't have a chance, did he?
I can't remember.
I feel for the guy so much. We don't give him anything. And it's, really weird. And
you know, I thought we press, and by that way we'll have players up with Dom Solanke, but it seems like he's isolated all the time, and it, you know, he could use a hand, he really could, but I can't see the formation changing between now and the end of the season.
No, I can't.
He's a person who sticks with it rather than twists. And
I don't want to single anyone out, but I feel like a key part of that is, I remember the start of the season, maybe a little bit later than that as well, Billing was getting a lot closer to Dom, and I thought he was pressing quite high, and for some reason, since he kind of come out, I forget, a bit of a knock, since he's come back, he's not been on it, has he? And he hasn't been getting close to Dom, and he doesn't look right, Billing, and I want to, maybe he is carrying something, I don't know, because at the start of the season we were all going, hands up, Billing's impressing me, but he's been really off it, really poor. I don't know how he stayed on the pitch in the last game, but weird. And I appreciate that the goal, it probably is a foul for their winner, I could see, but then I looked at it and went, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Because we're 1-0 down to Stoke the game before, and we win that game. That is never a sending off for the Stoke lad. But, it's all right for us to moan and Scott Parker to get sent off because he's moaned about, I'll tell you what, we had a decision the game before that literally helped win us that game. So, swings and roundabouts, mate. It can happen like that. That's the way it goes in football. But there was still a lot of football to be played kind of in that moment. With it. We still should deal with it better, in my opinion. But a good finish from the striker, Reece, that we mentioned in the preview for that, didn't we?
So, Preston fans, are you watching? You might be. And at the moment we haven't really complimented you, but there are a few people that took exception to a couple of comments in the vlog, namely Tom Jordan, these lot are useless. But we did try to put it into context at the time. But look, just explain what you meant by that, because I thought for the first 20 minutes, without actually doing anything with the ball, we dominated, and I don't know what the possession stats were for the first half, but it felt like we were all over them, and they were there for the taking. So maybe the sort of useless context is the fact that they barely touched the ball in the early stages of the game. Yeah,
a little bit. I think equally to their credit, they'll probably go, well, the game plan worked. We sat back. I would just mention there that we didn't really create any chances. So partly us, but you've got to give credit then to the opposition. They're not letting us create them chances. I think it was actually a backhanded compliment, really, because I expected them to be better.
Yeah.
And I think the fact is, they're our bogey team. They always they've done a double loss this season. Hopefully they'll be the only team that do that. Last season they took 4 points off us, I think, in the 2 games. They always seem to do a number on us, so I think it's kind of, I expected a little bit more from Preston. They still won the game, and they still deserve to win the game. I'll give them that. It wasn't trying to be disrespectful, because I don't like playing Preston, because I think Preston are a decent outfit. I actually always am shocked when I look at the league table and they're never near the top, because they're always good against us. But it was more the fact that I thought, bloody hell, I thought these would be good. These ain't that good. We could have them. And I actually thought their best player, I don't know if he got man of the match for him, but I think it might have been his debut. Let us know. It was Diaby at the back for him. I think he signed from Barnsley, and he was a rock. He didn't give Dom a sniff. I think it was more going forward. I expected them to be a bit livelier and cause some problems, but listen, they got the job on us, mate. So fair play to them.
One of the things that gives me a little bit of solace, and I mentioned this in the pub before the game on Saturday, is that on Ben HD's channel, check him out. Brilliant knowledge of the Championship. Preston fan as well. He did a video, because all of his sort of videos are geared towards EFL content, and he worked out the league table if all of the remaining matches of the season went with the outcome of the reverse fixture. So Preston would have won that, obviously, because they beat us 2-1 at our place, but with that in hand, we finished like second. So if this just goes to what Ben says, we'll be all right with that. But I wouldn't take a draw against Peterborough.
No,
I wouldn't take a draw,
and then a defeat to Derby. That's 1 point in the next 2. Yeah, but
do not want that.
Yeah, no.
But even still, that that gives me some positivity, because you're thinking of these teams that we have to play. Yeah. I think Reading's the only side out of the next 3 that we actually got 3 points from. So if that happens, look, let's be optimistic for it. And look, we know how Peterborough are going to set up. They frustrated a good side in Manchester City, but like you were saying off air, Man City just took the sting out of the first part of the game, didn't they? And when they needed to, they just upped it. Yeah,
they knew what they had to do, and they weren't going to exert their energy levels too much. But I watched that game, and I thought Peterborough had a game plan really well, actually, and tried to counter on them. And I think it was Jay Jones up front who was rapid. I didn't realise how quick he was. I mean, maybe he hadn't had the final product, but he was quick on the break, so they played that quite well. But if I was a Peterborough fan, I'd be proud of him. I'd be thinking, bloody hell, how can we take City like that?
Yeah.
And just, we look awful in the league. I mean, they are really, really struggling. I mean, they're down, in my opinion. They are down. And maybe that brings a little bit of no fear element to it, that they think, what if they were really thinking they could stay up, they would be going, right, go here, try and nick a point, be really hard. Now they kind of go, you might as well just go for it. So that might cause some problems, but equally, we struggled with them last time when they didn't even, and this is not me having a go at them, because it was a good point against us for them at the start of the season, but they didn't even try and attack at all. But we didn't create any chances, really. It was a really dull game when I remember that. The pub was good though, on the barge, that was great.
Charters,
I love Peterborough away, by the way.
We made changes in that game. I think that Morgan Rogers started. Stacey was on the right hand side. His first match in a while, and it didn't particularly work, but it was 3-0 when they last played in the league, a 3-0 loss to Huddersfield, and it felt like a bit of an after the Lord's Mayor show for them in that performance. They weren't particularly great. We need a positive atmosphere in the stands for this one, and you know what, that first goal, mate, is absolutely critical that we score it, because that atmosphere, it could turn like that if we concede.
We were talking about that, weren't we, off air, and kind of saying, it looks all rosy, we got Peterborough at home, should be fine, let's get the place, but first kind of say 10 minutes they hit one and it goes in the top corner, and then we start passing the ball sideways. That the place is going to feel a little bit toxic, which we don't want. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that should happen if we go 1-0 down, because it's a long game, and we've shown in quite a few games recently that we're going to be there till the end and can get some late goals. But it is imperative that we start fast, a bit like we did at Birmingham not too long ago, and we start on the front foot. And we know it's a team that are really down in the dumps. They're expecting to get relegated. They've got no confidence. I don't think they've won a league game in 12 or something ridiculous. I don't think they've won this year. We should take it to them. I said to you as well. So I've been 30 for nearly half a year now. I don't want to talk about that too much, but I've been 30 for nearly half a year. The last time they won on the road, I was in my 20s, because it was in October before my. So, I mean, I don't want to. This could get memed up, but we will win. We will win. We're playing Peterborough at home. We will win. We've got too much quality. But I like to think that we go from early doors. Let's get an early goal, settle the place down. And then the crowd can get behind them a little bit, and let's play some football. And let's get the job done and hopefully get a couple of goals as well, mate.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it's good that this match has come so soon after what was a turgid performance at Deepdale. Right. So look, we've been trying to be fairly measured. We've got our criticisms, and these are our own opinions, not necessarily those of Back of the Net, of course, and let people can come on and have their say. We also want to pick up on some people who think we talk rubbish, and some people that think that we need to be positive, and there are, we should be glass half full after what we've seen so far. Steve Jones legend, not the actual Steve Jones, that's the username on the Vitals forum. I just wanted to pick up on this thread that he wrote. I think it was either on Sunday or Monday, and he said the following: I have to admit, folks, I'm really starting to find the constant whining, moaning and slagging off the players and Parker a lot more boring than watching us play. I've never known so much bullshit discussed about a manager and team that currently sit third with 3/4 games in hand on most around us, and in the driving seat for what we set out for at the start. He said, okay, I'm not saying we're setting the world alight in the entertainment stakes, but when did our fans become so entitled? Or is it that we're just trying our utmost to become the most spoilt generation of Cherries fans in our history? There really is pleasing no folks. He went on to say, when we were relegated, we had the soothsayers predicting the worst. We're doomed. We'll be in League Two and out of business in 3 years. Well, that worked out well, didn't it? He said. All three managers to date we've had us in the top 6 for most of the last 2 seasons. Now, we've seemingly put that little argument to bed, and we're now constantly bickering about how boring we are to watch and debating the players and Parker's abilities. He said, like it or not, he ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So how about channeling your inner miserable and try posting something positive for once, or at least something that isn't negative, and support the team and Parker. Well said, well said.
Yeah, a few things in there that we've mentioned. We won't go over it. That we're getting the job done. We should get promoted. I will say I find it really weird that there's a lot of this talk of why we're being so negative. It wasn't like that last season when we were always in the top 6 with Tyndall. It was fine to say we're rubbish. I don't get it. And he got sacked, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely, like I say, well, it was a much stronger league. I don't care what anyone says. It's a much stronger league last season. Brentford are probably going to stay up in the Premier League, and they had to go through the playoffs to get promoted. Norwich had Buendia, Cantwell, Pookie. Watford had Sarr, and they were come on. And by the way, we didn't lose to either of them too. But yeah, we were never outside the top 6, and I voiced then that I wanted him to be maybe given the season, but I did agree that it wasn't great to watch. We were still saying that last. We were unbeaten for ages, and we were still going, we'll get away. We weren't just being blinded by it either then. Why is it okay now to say we shouldn't moan? But it was fine last season. Everyone was moaning about it last season, and we were just as good. The league was just a bit stronger. And I do feel this is definitely not 100%, and I don't know who this gentleman is, but it does feel a little bit when I see comments, like I say, this is just what I've seen on Twitter and stuff, that the most of the people that are very much kind of like, you cannot be moaning of where we are, I don't see them at the games. And this is not me being, I go to all the games,
condescending,
but I feel like if you watched it more, all full 90 minutes every single game, you would kind of get what we're saying a little bit more. You go to football, and with no divine right to see amazing football, I don't go there thinking, I never think after we lose and play crap that I should get my money back, because you know what you're doing, but I'm sorry, but if you go like we have the money that's spent, the time that's taken, I think you're allowed to then say, I didn't really enjoy that. And all I've consistently said, and I think you're the same, and a lot of fans I see saying, is that granted, we're getting the job done, all good, happy days, looks like we're going to get promoted. I feel like with this squad we should be a little bit better to watch and a little bit more clinical, in my opinion.
That's all we're saying. And look, when you mention Tyndall and when others mention Woodgate, and people think that we're comparing directly with Parker. Look, Parker has got some incredible strengths, and we are where we are. And look, Jason Tyndall, I think perhaps we, as Bournemouth fans, that know he is a legend, because he is.
But more as a number 2.
Yeah, he was an underdog really in that role, someone who hadn't done it before, and that's why there were comparisons made not so long ago whereby we were in a very similar position in the table to when we were last season. And Woodgate, yes, we know he said up the Cherries in an interview once, and that was really cool, but we're not either saying that he was much better than like Scott Parker either, but all we're saying is should be a little bit better. But look, Peterborough, chance to put it right.
Definitely.
We haven't even touched the presser yet, so
I just like to quickly say that I'm not in any way saying that Jonathan Woodgate and Jason Tyndall are better football managers than Scott Parker. There's a reason why Jason Tyndall's gone straight back to being a number 2, because that's what he's good at, and there's a reason why Jonathan Woodgate's on TalkSport and not managing a club. I don't want anyone to think that why would he rather them. I wouldn't rather them. I do think actually Scott Parker's probably a better football manager, and that's why he's the only one managing at the moment. So I'd just like to put that out there, because otherwise everyone would go, he just wants Tyndall. I don't want Tyndall. I'm just, But let's get on with the presser. Come on.
Look, so our next game is one of those banana skin games against a side who've not won a league game this year, and they've had 2 draws and 9 defeats, scored 4 goals and conceded 25 goals. They also have the worst defensive record in the Championship this season, conceding 69 goals, 48 of those away from home. This match is live on the Sky Red Button and on AFCB TV, but if you're not subscribed, make sure you do, because immediately after full time we'll have those full time reactions. Let's do Parker Presser. Okay, well, there wasn't one. Sorry for the big build-up, but look, it's a very quick turnaround, and we'll probably be seeing fewer and fewer of these pressers as the next couple of months go on. It is a very congested schedule. Some of the things that Parker said in his interview we've covered already, so we'll move on to the news this week that Adam Smith will miss Bournemouth's next 3 games after being charged with violent conduct by the FA. The incident took place following Emil Reese's 89th minute goal at Deepdale. He started the match but was substituted 22 minutes prior to the goal, and he's alleged to have breached Law 12 S2 of the FA fouls and misconduct rule. He and Scott Parker were both sent off by referee Matt Donahue. What happened? Did you see what happened?
I got a clue. I mean, originally I thought it might have been something to do with they had a throw that could have been a foul. We obviously have alluded to the fact that it was billing, and they both kicked off that we should have got a foul in the build up to the goal. But Pod got sent off, and then you just see Smithy come from nowhere really, and kind of look really agitated, and then him get sent off. I love Smithy. It's stupid. It's stupid because he's been out for so long. I saw him in an interview when he come back saying, it's just been so hard for me because I just want to get back and help the team. You've come back, you've done okay. I don't think you've been brilliant, but I appreciate he's had a long layoff, and it's good to have Smithy back. Great for competition. You've come back and see you finally got fit. You've got back into the team. You're sent off when you're not even on the pitch, and he'll probably say, he wants it so much. He's so passionate, and I get that. I mean, I play football. You've played football with me, Sam, and sometimes frustration balls over in the moment. So I'm not going to go too much over it. But 3 games, it could be 3-game ban, and that's silly from Smudge. Really is, because he's had a long layoff and got himself back in the side. But it is what it is. Luckily, it's a position where we're very strong. I mean, Jack Stacey didn't even make the matchday squad, which is just crazy because I think he starts a right back for nearly every team in the division. So. Yeah, we've got players in that position, and it might be a chance for Laird or Stacey to go, we've got 3 games now to try and stamp my place on that right back spot. But yeah, seemed a weird one, but yeah, real shame that Smithy's got that ban lured over him now.
Scott Parker's reaction to the defeat, well, he said that the Cherries train had to keep rolling despite becoming derailed in our 2-1 defeat. Asked how he would settle his players after their dramatic defeat at Preston, he said, "We'll be fine, that's my job. And I've been involved in this for a long, long time. We're going to learn from this. We're going to get over it. We're going to explain exactly why we've lost the game, because in my head I have some clear reasoning why that is, and it's pretty straightforward. But this is it. 3 home games now. Let's go and see what we're made of. We have to keep going. The train has to keep rolling. And we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We need to keep pushing, and we will do that." That was a quote from Scott Parker. Dan Rose from the Echo wrote that. And then Jack Tanner did an article on Lloyd Kelly, revealing that the Cherries dressing room was upset and angry after their late defeat. Speaking after the game, he told the Echo that we were on the good end of these late winners of recent. But obviously now we're on the end of a loss. He said, "You could say it comes down to fine margins, but I felt like we could have done enough, especially in that first half, the way we played. And then in the second half, I thought we could have controlled the game a lot better. It turned into a lot of back and forth, and that's not how we want to play. We want to play kind of controlling football." Love that word, control, mate.
Yeah, we do like that, and I get that, control of football. I think we did do that in periods in the first half, for most of that first half, because then I think Travers made 1 save, didn't he? But like I say, it's controlling the game, but it's working their moments and making sure you get the lead when you're in control of the game, and we just didn't do that on the day, unfortunately. But yeah, there were moments in that first half where we didn't look under any pressure either. I think it was actually one of the first games that Travers wasn't that busy, so there's an element of control. It's just when you've got that control, I think you've got to take full advantage of that, and we just didn't do it, mate. Didn't do it.
So, team news: Scott Parker out, Adam Smith out, Jefferson Lerma out. It's the last of his 4-game suspensions. No news of any fresh injuries, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
The AFCB player to watch, you could say Jamal Lowe, and look, we'll go over the team that we're going to pick later on. That'll be very interesting, but he's going to be looking to score his 4th goal in a row. And there's also another face, an ex-Posh player that might be of interest to them. But then, do they know how he plays? So would that maybe be a bad thing?
I was speaking to Steve Hensman about this, and he made a good point, because I thought, against old club, bit between his teeth, really good, and he kind of said that, yeah, but if any team's going to know what he's about, it's probably them. So I think you can look at it either way, really.
Yeah.
I think he's been good since he come in, brilliant at Blackpool, and obviously got the winner. I thought he was good against Stoke without being sensational. So he has. I've been quietly impressed with him since he come in. So I'd be well happy from the start. Whether I think he will or not, we'll come on to. But I think he's fresh as well, and he didn't even come off the bench. So yeah, that could be it. But he's a great talent to have, and yeah, they know that as well. So Peterborough were definitely gutted to lose him, weren't they?
Right, enough about us. Should we talk about the Posh?
Yeah, go on then.
Before we talk about them, let's relive our away day. It was on the 29th of September, and it was a brilliant game, wasn't it, mate?
No, but I need to watch this because I can't remember a lot of it.
We'll keep the red flag flying high. Deepdale to Wembley. We'll keep the red flag flying high.
That was a poor first half.
Rubbish. Like, they're not very good.
That was a whole first half.
It was Hull. It was exactly the same as Hull. But we're going to nick it 1-0. Jamal Lowe off the bench.
You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in Jamal Lowe. Oh.
On our way home then, final score, Peterborough 0, AFC Bournemouth 0.
2 points dropped, that was.
2 points dropped, Tom, you're right.
Oh, that was awful, wasn't it? So bad. They're the worst team we'll play this season, honestly. They were so bad. They were cheering when the keeper caught it on 60 minutes.
Clubs like Peterborough.
Oh, can't. Don't, here comes the hashtag. So, look, I was driving. Right, Lucy was with us. I think she fell over at one point, mate.
She did. She'll be really glad that you mentioned that as well.
Sorry, Lucy.
Yeah.
But she won't be watching. It's fine.
No.
Charters Bar was brilliant.
Oh, great.
And look, this is the reason, right? Preston at the weekend, right? It was a crap game, but I enjoyed moments of the weekend because of you guys, because of the company that I was with. Yeah. We had some. It wasn't the greatest away day, but it's kind of there's a lot of stories that have emanated from it, and increasingly it's all about all the social activity that goes around the 90 minutes on the pitch. And Posh was one of those games. It was dull, it was boring, and the Posh departed with their manager Darren Ferguson after he resigned, after they lost away to Derby County in February. So in came Grant McCann for a second stint as the Posh manager. Our fans, of course, will remember him as the manager of Hull City, who beat us at home in January and held. Let's not. But yeah, the team that we're playing today, they're going down. Tomorrow, sorry, they're going down, aren't they?
They've got to go. If they don't go down, then that's going to be remarkable for them. So it's a massive credit if they don't. I think they've probably resigned to the fact they're going down. And listen, ourselves in there, the kind of spending and the quality of players in the Championship. Posh were always going to struggle. They were always going to struggle this season. At the start of the season, when we went there, I thought we'd done a really good job on us to get a point. Yeah. And I thought, they'll probably be battling to the end. It hasn't quite worked for them. Obviously, they've lost Dembele now. Johnson Clark-Harris, it hasn't worked for him this season for whatever reason. I mean, he can't even play, and he was their main man. So, yeah, it hasn't worked for them. I think they're probably going to go. But, I'm sure they'll be up there in League One, mate. And they're probably, their fans, I'm sure, knew it would be a tough one for them. It just, they haven't been quite as strong as kind of maybe Hull and obviously Blackpool that come up with them, which will be a real shame for them. But Yeah, I'll be shocked if they don't go down, mate, and they just got to enjoy the rest of the season. But all I will give them is that I quite enjoyed their away day, and I'm gutted that it wasn't like a 3 o'clock Saturday, because it was a Wednesday night, wasn't it? And I thought, this would be well good on a Saturday. But I enjoyed going to Peterborough. They're a club I don't mind, so it's a shame, but I'll be absolutely shocked if they stayed up.
So, can you remember the last time we played them at Dean Court, mate, in terms of the result?
No,
It was in Clue. It was in 2010.
I mean, I remember battering them. Was that the last time we played them at home?
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
5-1?
Yeah, 5-1. Yeah.
I didn't realise that was the last game, though.
Yeah.
I suppose we haven't played them for a long time. We kind of missed them, didn't we?
I believe that's the last time we played them in League One. And yeah, Mark Pugh opened the scoring. Anton Robinson added a second before half time. Then Brett Pittman scored a 16-minute hat trick.
Yeah.
But in our home games against Peterborough, we've won 7, drawn 6, lost 8.
Oh,
so yeah, they've got the slight edge on that. Here's a question for you,
go
mate.
Go on.
Right, 16-man squad I think we had at the time. 16,
right.
16 players were named on the day. This will be a difficult one. Out of those 16 names on the team sheet, 4 of them are still playing in the Football League now.
In the Football League, so not Pittman, because he's dropped out.
Not Pittman.
Not Pittman. Okay, they're still playing in the football. Oh, God. I don't want to... Oh, this could go on for ages. I'm thinking about it. Because I can't even think of any off the top. Oh, Jason Pearce.
Jason Pearce, yeah.
Charlton, he's at Charlton, isn't he?
Yeah, might be another one with Charlton links.
Not Stockley.
Midfielder. Stockley.
Oh, Stockley's one, is he?
Yeah, Stockley's one, but also
Ariata.
Yeah, Ariata, and one more.
One more. I'm not gonna cheat and look at your screen if you've got it up.
I'll give you a clue.
Go on, give me a clue.
Winger.
Who's Liam Feeney at? Is he still playing? Who's he at? He's not playing, is he?
Yeah, he was at Tranmere. He's been released. But he's at Scunthorpe now.
Okay, he's dropped down release.
Technically, he's played league football this year. Mate, well done.
I'll take that.
Mate, you didn't even look at my screen.
I thought I was really going to struggle there, yeah.
Fair play.
Cheers for the little clues, though.
No worries. Peterborough United team news then. So they've had injuries to Dan Butler and Joel Randall. In the warm-up on Friday night at Huddersfield, the Posh goalkeeper Stephen Brenda had to drop out due to illness, so he may be back. Peterborough, in terms of their players to watch, I mean, it's a difficult one because of their poor forms. I mean, in their 6 games in February, they scored just 1 goal. That was Jack Marriott away at Fulham. Previous to that, in January, he scored one of their 2 goals away at St Andrews, or was it Trillion Trophy Stadium? Is it called that anymore? But they have, weirdly, their leading scorer plays for us. Joint leading scorer, because they've got another guy, haven't they, that's pretty decent up front.
Yeah, John Clark Harris. Yeah, we were linked with him for a lot, and I remember thinking, I'll take him. Looks good. I don't think it's quite worked for him this season. It'll be interesting if there's any Posh fans watching that want to kind of dive into why that might be, and if that's because of all the links and that he maybe wanted to leave. I don't know. I look at him and think, Jack Marriott, he was at Derby, and I remember thinking he was quite good, and I thought that's a good signing for him. And then John Clark Harris had good previous, and we were linked with him. Yep. And then they've got, as I mentioned earlier, I think Ricky J. Jones, who's got a lot of pace. So I think, they should have a lot up there, but it's just not working for them. I don't know if they haven't got the combinations right. I don't know, so I'm not sure how they'll go against us. I wonder if they'll, not that we're Man City, but I wonder if they'll go for that sort of system and leave J. Jones up front, actually, and play kind of counter-attack with his pace. Yeah. Not sure, but they've got a few options there to see what they do. It'll be interesting, but yeah, as I say, it's not quite working for them. They don't seem to have had the right kind of flair there, and like you say, we've taken arguably their best player, and I think the last time we had an ex-Peterborough player was Lee Tomlin. So I'm happy with Siriki Dembele, thank you, but I don't want another one like Tomlin.
No, not at all. The referee for tomorrow's encounter is Gavin Ward. We've had him for 2 matches away this season. Bristol City, good win, and also Derby, not so good loss.
Just had a weird little stat just come to my head then when you said Gavin Ward's the ref.
Yeah.
At the weekend, Jamal Lowe played.
Right.
Yeah. And the manager for them was Ryan Lowe. Yeah. So 2 Lowes. Yeah. Peterborough have got a player, I think he plays kind of right wing back, not sure, he might be a right back. They've got a player called Ward, and the ref's called Ward. I just quite like that. That's quite cool, isn't it? Yeah, pointless, but put it on the pod. Why not?
Yeah, Chris Temple, mate. But he in those 2 games he's refed. He's showed 3 yellow cards, all AFCB, 2 at Bristol City. That was Cahill, Lloyd Kelly, and Philip Billing at Derby. Just in case you need to know those facts. You probably don't. One thing, if you're a Posh fan, you probably want to know where the pubs are, and also what our predictions are. Let's do it. Right, Posh fans, welcome to Bournemouth. It's beautiful, it's sunny, it's gorgeous, and look, it's going to be hopefully a decent day. So if you come in early, why not enjoy the beach? Have a beer on the promenade or whatever. But we've got an away fans guide just for you. It even features this guy riding a barrel.
Oh yeah,
scooter.
doesn't it? Yeah. No, that was good fun. That. Yeah, good fun.
Good.
Yeah, enjoyed that.
And look, click the card at the top of the screen, and you can find out the recommended pubs and eateries that you can go to before coming to Dean Court. We would love to be welcoming you with open arms, but hopefully we'll be sending you home sad and dejected after we pummel you. But we'll see what happens. Check the away fans guide. Hope you enjoy that. Right, predictions wise, okay, put yours down in the comments below. Let us know what you think. There's always this it's amazing how quickly you forget the last game and you start feeling really positive again.
Yeah, I know.
And it's this thing that happens time and time again. But
1-0 Johnson Clark Harris. Yeah, should we feed the negativity and go 1-0 Clark Harris? No, I think we'll have too much. Like I say, I'm gonna. I mean, part of me's going to probably win it 1-0, but I'll go 2. I'll go 2. I don't think they'll have enough to score. I'm hoping. I'm going to go 2-0. I keep saying it, but I feel like Cantwell's goal's around the corner. Yeah. I feel like we said that a lot about Christie, didn't we? That took a while, but I feel like Cantwell's goal around the corner. So I'll go Cantwell and Solanke with a 2-0 win.
I'm going 3-0. 3-0. I think Phil Bill's hopefully going to. Well, I don't know. It all depends whether you're going to pick him or not. Probably after the performance, you probably wouldn't. But either way, I'm going to say Phil Bill. 1 for Dom Solanke, and yeah, why not Cantwell as well? Yeah. That's my prediction. What are yours? Let us know the score and also the scorers. Pop them in the description below. We would love to see what you think. It's that time again, Tom. Predicted team, and I always never know. Is it? Hang on. It's
which way is it?
No, it's that. It's that way.
Oh, is it?
There's the pitch. Look, there it is.
That looks good. Yeah. I mean, it'll look good if it's the other side. It'll look stupid. Yeah.
And we've got 11 players to pick here, and there are some enforced changes. But shall we go through the side that we're going to put out? Let's start with El Pulpo. That's who it's going to be. Right?
El Bobo in goal.
El
yeah.
Bobo.
Mark Travers in goal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think he pulled off a couple of good saves actually. I mean, when was the last goal that we conceded that was his fault? Can't even remember.
Blackburn first game of last season. Don't feel like there's probably some that he feels he could do better at, but there's not a glaring error that you can think of.
I think he's been great.
Yeah,
I think he's been absolutely superb. Credit also to Preston's keeper, by the way, Everson.
What a save!
What a save!
That is an unbelievable save from him. Yeah. Unbelievable save. Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper as well, Everson. I do rate him. Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper.
Okay, let's go across our back line then. We're going to go forward the back, surely.
Yep. One in force, didn't there? We're looking like with Smithy. We're getting that band that we talked about. It'll be interesting actually because Laird's been getting on the bench and obviously Stacey didn't. I think he's going to start Stacey though. Yeah. I think Laird's there. We've seen that the last 2 games to maybe come on to add some attacking impetus if needed, and he's played wing back a lot.
He does that a lot by dropping players and then putting them straight back in.
Yeah.
There's no halfway house with Scott Parker, is it?
No.
So you're out and then you're back in again.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Stacey. I wouldn't mind if it's Stacey or Laird, to be honest, but I think it's going to be Stacey at right back, and then the rest will be the same. I think Nat Phillips, I don't think it was great. There's moments where I think, God, he's brilliant. He wins some, and then there's moments I think, what's he doing? Yeah. But yeah, I think he's still kind of finding his feet for us. So I think it'll be him and Lloyd Kelly with Zamora staying in at left back.
Can I just comment on Lloyd Kelly? I thought he was all right at Preston, but sometimes he does make these little mistakes, and I wonder. I don't think he's been as good without Gary Cahill, and I just wonder whether Gary Cahill's got that commanding voice at the back. He's a big communicator, and he will basically direct Lloyd Kelly and the rest of the defenders in terms of what to do. You can always see him pointing and telling him where to go, whereas I don't think he's had that guidance since he's been out. And Lloyd Kelly does make a few mistakes every now and then. I mean, he's solid, he's quick, and his pace will always put him in.
I think that's the thing, and that's definitely why he plays, because you know that he's got that in his locker, that pace, and he can make up for errors of himself or his partner at centre half because of that pace that we probably don't have in Nat Phillips, in Mepham, and Cahill. Do you know what I mean? So he is crucial, and like I say, he's leading the side at the moment with the skipper's armband. But yeah, I don't think he was brilliant, but no one really was, bar maybe Lewis Cook. So yeah, one of them. But happy for Kelly to obviously stay in there.
All right. I presume in the midfield, Lewis Cook will
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Well, I just mentioned there, I thought he was best player on the pitch.
Yep.
For us particularly, I think he's done really well in that role, so it will be interesting when Lerma comes back. But I'm gonna stick with, we're obviously doing what we think Parker will do. So I'm gonna stick with the three, if you like, which is Lewis Cook sat deep, with Billing and Cantwell to the sides of him. Probably would go back to putting them on the other sides, to be honest. He changed it, which I kind of thought he would because of the way we come back against Stoke, but I quite like Billing a bit more on the left, actually. He seems to perform better there. I personally would leave Billing out. I don't think he's been good enough. I think we've got good players on the bench that can compete for his position. Marcondes, I think Christie can play inside, and you could bring one of the wide men in, but we're going on a predicted team, and he ain't leaving Billing out. He loves Billing.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this kind of attacking, this midfield four, if you want to call the four, the extra two, the more advanced two, and then the wide players. We know that Dom Solanke's going to be up there, so should we just put him in there now? Yeah,
Dom.
Because, like, I mean, Jamal Lowe, it'd be harsh not to start him because he scored 3 in a row, but weirdly, I don't think he's been as effective.
He hasn't been brilliant, no, but I don't think there's anyone out. Like we said, Dembele come into the side and look good. Christie's been out for a little bit. Anthony has as well, and then he come in and he wasn't great. So I don't think there's any that have nailed down them wide spots. I personally just think of what I think Parker's going to do. I think Christie will come back in.
Okay.
I do think Christie will play.
So Anthony gone, Dembele.
But I think Lowe will still play.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Christie on the right. And I think he's going to move Lowe over to the left-hand side.
Would there be, this is just, I don't know, I'm just putting ideas out there, because I think Cantwell's very good when he's on the left side. Could it be that, Ryan Christie could maybe, come inside and play that number 8 role?
Potentially.
But we all know that he's more effective on that side. Or could it be Christie and Cantwell in the middle, and then Dembele and Lowe, or something like that? Because Billing was quite poor. There's quite a few options.
I think what I would like to see, like I say, I don't think it will happen. I would quite like to see, obviously, Lewis staying in there, and I'd quite like to see Cantwell and Christie as the two kind of advanced midfielders, and maybe leave Billing out for a game, and go with maybe Lowe or Anthony, really don't mind, and Dembele, and kind of have that. It's almost 4-1-4-1, isn't it? Really, but yeah, as I say, I thought Christie was at least a bit lively when he come on, to his credit, and he looked fresh, didn't he, from a little layoff. So yeah, I think Christie, but I think it's that left hand side that's going to be interesting. Will he stick with Lowe, as you said, because of the numbers, or will he play Anthony because maybe his work rate, his combination with Zamora, or will he play Dembele because he's played against old club, he's had a game off? I think anyone could be on that left. I'm going to just say he's going to stick with Jamal Lowe, but just move him over to the left hand side.
I'm going to throw a
spanner
into the works by saying I've got a funny feeling there's going to be an omission that we just don't expect.
Yeah, I think I
don't know who.
I know what you mean. We had it with Nat Phillips the other week, didn't we, when he was unwell.
I've got a funny feeling, like Zamora, I don't know, or someone. I've got a funny feeling.
And it wouldn't shock you this stage of the season when you're playing, games every other day and all this stuff. So it wouldn't shock me if someone's got a little niggle. But
it wouldn't matter though, given the players in nearly every position, apart from Dom, maybe.
Apart from Dom, like you say, you go, oh God, we don't want to lose Zamora. You go, leave Davis will be fine against Peterborough, I think. So I agree. So it's not too much to be too concerned about. And the mad thing is, we know Lerma's out. We don't want Lewis Cook to be. You just bring in Pearson, and then Kilkenny is still. We've got so many options, as we've alluded to enough. But as I say, what we know so far, that's the team I'm going with.
Brilliant stuff, Tom. Wonderful stuff. Look, we're going to end on a positive. Alan from the Vitals Forum said the following: I feel sorry for the fans that went to Preston and were disappointed by the performance and result. Fair play to everyone that made the trip, but this is Championship football.
It is.
There are no easy points in this league. He said people say the Championship is weak this season, but there is an argument to say it's not. Forest and Middlesbrough flying, knocking out and outclassing a full-strength Man United and Arsenal in the FA Cup. At the bottom end of the table, there are teams like Reading struggling, and they've had some great players like Swift, Zhao, etc. It's not easy, and we shouldn't expect to play everyone off the pitch each week just because we've had talented players. Probably a fair point.
Yeah, I like all the points he's made there. Yeah, really, really good argument, like you say, with and I probably agree that there's certain teams mid-table near the bottom that are actually quite strong. I think more for me, there's not, apart from us and Fulham, there's not another team that have just got these squads, whereas last season I felt that Brentford, Norwich, Watford all had that. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and there's no divine right to win football matches, and we even said before the game it wouldn't be a disaster if we got out of Preston with a point, because we are aware that these places are tough to go. So there's not many teams that we should be blowing away, but look away now, Peterborough fans, but I think it should be them.
Yeah. Look, the worry, I suppose, is that the negativity and that mood is contagious, and it's going to put more pressure on the players when all we want to see them be creative and play with flair. And look, let's make sure the atmosphere is decent on Tuesday night. Tomorrow night we're under the lights. It's going to be a good one. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Content galore over the next few days, of which Tom, I'm sure, will be a part of fairly heftily.
Don't say that, because then they'll all put in the comments, "Oh, do we really need Tom about it?" No, I'm looking forward to it though. It's good. Like we said right at the start of the show, it's good to have another game to bounce back. Games quick and fast. Let's try and get it pumping in there. I don't want like 5 minutes into the game to play one backward pass and everyone's all got to get behind the boys right to the end, because we know we can do stuff at the end of the game as well. It was 90 minutes. We'll be fine. Let's get behind them and let's show them that we're all behind them, and they'll grow in confidence from that, and we'll win, and happy days.
Free for all Tuesday, vlog Wednesday, Thursday we'll be back at the Pair doing an away day. Yeah, we come here all the time, mate. Let's fetch my other outfit, shall I? Where is it?
I'm going to get changed.
See you at the next one.
Up the chairs.